Every single time you make a live stream for YouTube, Twitch, or any other platform, you are using an encoder that converts your video to a network stream that can be sent to the online platform over the internet. This encoder can either be a software encoder like OBS or Vmix that can run on a laptop, or a hardware encoder like the one built into the Blackmagic 8 Mini or the dedicated Blackmagic web presenter, for instance. All of these encoders will work very well as long as you provide them with a stable internet connection. But what if you are in a location where the internet connection isn't that great? Well, this is when this comes into play, the LiveU Solo Pro. Let's get started. One of the most important devices when doing a live stream is the encoders, because if it fails, well, the whole stream fails. I've been using many types of encoders for our live streams, ranging from software encoders like OBS to hardware devices that are dedicated to this purpose only, such as the Web Presenter 4K. As I said in the intro, all of these solutions will work quite well if you have a good wired internet connection. But if you are mostly doing on-the-go live stream, moving from location to location where you don't always have a solid internet link available, well, you might be out of luck. And after testing several solutions and asking for advice, multiple comrades recommended this one. So I reached out to LiveU and asked if I could get one unit to see how it performs. And now it's been through 6 months of field testing, so I will give you my feedback in this video. This LiveU Solo Pro device can do 3 things that many other encoders cannot do. First, it is capable of encoding your video into a 4K stream with a high level of reliability. Second, it can ingest multiple internet connections such as Wi-Fi, Ethernet, 4G cellular, so that when added all together, all of these make for a super stable streaming uplink. If one of the connections were to fail, then it is not an issue since all the other connections are still running. That also means that you can create a high-speed link with multiple slow-speed internet connections. And third, it can be controlled remotely over the internet and a really easy to use dedicated portal. So now, let's dive into the design. The Solo Pro has definitely been built with portability in mind. In our case, we were looking for a rack-mounted solution, but the LiveU rack-mounted encoders are over $10,000, so we didn't mind going for this form factor. And actually, it comes with a very nice belt pack like this. So it can also be used in situations where you would have a remote camera operator on a motorbike or walking. This belt pack also serves as a bag where you can put all the accessories inside. So yeah, it's quite a nice form factor. The unit ships with a protective fabric that can hold 2 cellular 4G modems together, which is quite nice. The device boots up in 30 seconds, which is reasonable. It has a little preview screen with the incoming video, which is very practical for checking the feed and the audio, and a few buttons too that we don't use that often since we do most of the configuration remotely through the LiveU web portal. The initial configuration of the device was fairly straightforward and the web interface is easy to use. The unit is powered with a 45 watts USB-C power supply and also have a built-in battery that can last up to 3 hours, so we always leave it plugged in mains power. In terms of I/O, we can find an Ethernet port here to connect to one internet source and 2 USB ports that can connect to up to 4 cellular 4G modems that will provide extra bandwidth, or the total bandwidth if you don't have any Wi-Fi or Ethernet connection at your venue. It's worth noting that you can use your own cellular modems as well. On the other side, we can find a 4K HDMI in port, 4K SDI in, and headphone jacks output. I also found 4 holes here for probably SIM cards, but when you take a closer look, these are actually not in use, so you cannot put any SIM card inside. Also, it has a 1/4-inch threads at the back, so if you want to mount it somewhere with a magic arm or something, a tripod, you can. This is the Solo Pro SDI version. The standard version is a bit cheaper because it doesn't have this SDI port and only HDMI ports. The unit also have a Wi-Fi chip built in, so in total you can connect 1 Ethernet, 1 Wi-Fi and up to 4 cellular modems. If you want to use this bonding service that adds multiple connections in one solid internet connection, you need to pay a monthly fee for their LRT cloud service, which stands for LiveU Reliable Transport. What's really cool is that if you take the Solo Connect package with those 2 modems and the monthly subscription, they have actually built-in SIM cards that are not tied to one 4G operator. So they will connect to whatever operator provides the strongest 4G signal where you currently are. So I think that's really, really good. The LiveU Solo Pro is a 4K encoder, so you can stream H.264 video in a wide variety of formats, from 480p all the way to 4K Ultra HD. The maximum bitrate you can stream at is 20 megabits per second, which is okay for 4K streaming. Important note, you can only stream in H.265 if you use the SRT protocol, which not many streaming platforms are using at this stage. Just a quick word on why we actually stream in 4K. I've noticed over time that when you stream in 4K on YouTube, the quality of the live stream is actually much better, even if the viewer will only watch in 1080p, 720p or lower, because YouTube likely marks the 4K stream as a quality stream and increases bitrate at all the different resolutions, including the lower one. But it's not official, I think this is just my theory of things. If you're wondering, you can only stream to one destination at the same time, unless you pay a Solo Tools subscription. Also, if you intend to use that unit as a router, you can't. It's really designed to be used as an encoder. So you can't use it to go on the internet, on the web or any website. It's really just for video streaming and encoding. Now I'll take you through a quick demo and we'll make a test live stream. So we start by powering up the device, like so. There we go. So it's booting up. And now that the unit is connected to the internet, we can access the settings remotely. So right here you can see that it's receiving a 4K signal. It has 2 connections, which are the 2 4G modems. The LRT streaming is on, and we can select here, like for example, Frankfurt. And then we very simply click here on select new destination. And then we can scroll down to RTMP, which is here. And then here we're gonna name our destination, so test middle, and then we're gonna stream, of course, in 4K, and we're gonna take here the live streaming URL and the stream name, which is here. There we go, and then we can specify a few advanced things, like we can override settings. I tend to put the audio at 320 kilobits per second, otherwise it stays as 128, and the rest is fine, so then we submit. And there we go, so the destination is showing up here, and then at any moment here we can just press the go live button. So it's ramping up the stream, so you can see the bitrate that is going up. So it's going slow by slow, and it's not yet streaming on YouTube, but it will be anytime soon. Oh, there we go. So now we got the feed. I'm going to try and leave you the link of that stream in the description, so you can check the quality of the 4K, etc. But other than that, here you can see the curve of like the current bandwidth and how it changes, etc. And you can see that it's perfectly split between the 2 4G cellular modems. So I didn't connect the Wi-Fi or the internet, but I can do that by going either into the settings of the unit here, and I press connections, and here you can see that I can remotely like put the IP address, DNS, etc. I can also configure the Wi-Fi, so I can choose a Wi-Fi here, for example here. So now you can see it's connected. So if I go back into the devices here, and here you can see that now it has added the Wi-Fi in addition to the 4G cellular modem. So now we have 3 connections that are currently being used. I tend to use the web interface because it's much easier this way, but you can also access these settings by going with the buttons here on the menu, and then interface, and then you can see the different interfaces. So here we have the Wi-Fi, the first one, then the 2 4G modems, then additional modems that we could put, and the Ethernet connection. So there's no Ethernet cable connected. And then there's just an about page, which has all the serial number, the MAC address, the Wi-Fi MAC address, etc. The name of the unit, etc. And that's pretty much it. Now I'm going to stop the live stream by just pressing the button here and then press again to stop. And there we go. It's stopping the live stream now. That's it, super simple. That's how we go live with the LiveU Solo Pro. Now, the most important feature I am looking for in an encoder is of course reliability. Whether you are using it as a primary or backup encoder, you want to make sure it's 99.99999% reliable. Otherwise, in the event of a failure, you instantly lose credibility with your client, and all the efforts you put in areas like sound, image quality, directing, camera, scripting, all of this can end up completely forgotten if you have a failure. So I've been using it quite intensively over the past 6 months for dozens of live streams, both in 4K and in HD in different locations with different network conditions, and I must say that it holds. It's super fast to set up. You just power it on, you connect your Ethernet connection if you have one, you fill in the RTMP stream key on the interface, and boom, you are on air. I haven't experimented a single failure for now, so it's been rock solid, and from what I've heard from other people, it seems to be the case elsewhere. So I'm really happy with the reliability of this unit so far. Looking at the competition, so another great 4K encoder is the Blackmagic Web Presenter 4K, which can stream at much higher bit rates and in H.265 without requiring SRT. So it's a bit better on this note. It's also much cheaper at around $500 or $600, I think. It's excellent, but there are several times where my Web Presenter 4Ks or HD have failed. I never really knew why they failed. It really depends on what internet connection you have, because most of the time these web presenters rarely fail. But sometimes the cache would just fill up slowly and then reaching 100%, and then the on-air thing would start blinking, which is a terrifying sight, because it basically means you're not on air anymore. Also, the web presenter doesn't have that bonding feature of adding multiple internet connections for maximum stability, so I usually end up using these two encoders side by side, the LiveU Solo Pro as the primary encoder, while keeping the web presenter as a backup encoder for maximum reliability. So two different encoders, that's quite nice. We've also used two other devices, which include the Teradek VDU Go, which also has the bonding feature but just in HD, and the YOLObox Ultra, but in my case I've had a terrible experience with both of these devices. I had like big reliability issues, and even though they have great features, for me reliability it's really #1 priority. So I don't know if it's just me or like the products are flawed, but like I just had a bad experience with these. And last one, if you have a big budget to spend, you could of course go for the AV West system that is really well known in TV broadcast and extremely reliable. But it is also super expensive, and way too expensive for us at least. Coming up to the cost, so the unit itself costs $14.95 for the HDMI version and $21.95 for this HDMI and SDI version. You can use it as a standalone unit with no monthly fee if you just plan to use one internet connection. However, if you wish to use that LRT feature, which adds up all the internet connections together, you need to pay for the LRT monthly subscription, which is $45 per month. If you also want to purchase the two 4G cellular modems, you need to spend an extra one-time cost of $450 plus another subscription cost of $165 per month, but then you have unlimited data. So in total, if you need both the SDI and the two operator-free modems, you should expect to pay around $2,700 and then $200 per month. Of course, it does look quite expensive, but it's worth noting that you can only pay for the months you are actually using the device. So you can charge your customer both for the LRT and cellular subscription for 1 month if they can't provide you with a reliable internet connection. If you want to stream to multiple destinations, that's where things start getting quite expensive, since you need to add an extra $125 per month for the Solo Stream Tools subscription, which will allow for 3 streaming destinations. So yeah, the reliability of the device and the service definitely come at a price, but it looks fair to me. I just think the extra $125 monthly cost for the Solo Stream Tools service that allows you to stream to more than one destination is a bit overpriced. This Stream Tool service has also additional features such as watermark, fallback message, logo, graphics overlay, but unless you want to use all of this, you will have to pay that fee for multi-destination streaming. And I hope that could change in the future, and anything that can lower the overall monthly price would be very welcome. Just as a reminder, for all their services you can only pay for the months you are actually using, but I would actually love have an alternate pricing option where you just pay for the data you actually use. Besides, I think it would be really nice to be able to output different streams at different resolutions. For instance, you have an HD stream going for Facebook and a 4K stream for YouTube. That could be a nice thing to have. And lastly, I was slightly disappointed that H.265 can only be used if you are streaming through the new SRT protocol, which is not very widespread today. Other than that, well, I am really satisfied with this Solo Pro device. It ticks all the boxes, it has network bonding, it's fast, and most importantly, it works. It works, and amidst all the fuss of new products with fancy features but questionable reliability, it's a breath of fresh air, and I must say it's one of the most reliable encoders I've ever had. So if you can live with the drawbacks I mentioned, well, go for it. And if live streaming is a strong part of your business, I think it's really worth investing into a bulletproof system on the encoder side. Anyways, I hope you liked this video, let us know your own thoughts in the comments, and thanks for watching.